Yes, okay. I will start sharing the screen. You can see the screen, right?
Yep.
Okay. So now everything is in place, and it is 11 o'clock, exactly 11:01. So let's get started. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Om Gum Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Sam Saraswatye Namaha, Jai Sri Krishna, Jai Sri Sita Ramachandra. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo, Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo, Vamsha Rishbhyo, Mahatbhyo, Namo Gurubhya. Welcome to the ninth session of the online Gita Parayan and Satsanga for 2024. And today is a very auspicious day, being the Shukla Paksha Shashti of the month of Margashirsha. Gita itself says Masana Margashirshoham, and we are going to celebrate our Gita Jayanti day, the day in which the Gita got revealed to the mankind on the 11th this year, being the Ekadashi of Margashirsha month. Shukla Paksha Ekadashi of Margashirsha month. And this year we are doing this full chanting of the Gita over 9 sessions, and we are chanting the full chapters in each sessions. Previous years we have done about 40 verses per session in 18 sessions. So in 18 sessions, but this year we have made it 9 sessions, so that a less number of once a month only. And today we are doing chapter 18, altogether 78 verses in chapter 18, and it is a summary of the entire Bhagavad Gita itself. Every verse is chanted, will also be repeated by another lead chanter to facilitate proper learning of chanting by all. And at the end of it, we'll have a talk by a learned speaker. And we have actually completing these full 18 chapters by our target is basically to complete the entire Bhagavad Gita before the actual Gita Jayanti day for that particular year. And for this year, it happens to be 11th of December. So that is actually next Wednesday. So before that, today we are completing so that we have another few days. We can all go for the actual physical full chanting of the Bhagavad Gita at the PGP Hall. And today we have welcome address as the guest of honor by Sri Sagarji. Sagarji is the chairman of Amriteshwari Society, and we have the session talk by Swami Satyalokananda ji. Swamiji he's vice president of Sri Ramakrishna Mission, Singapore. And welcome to both our distinguished guests, as well as to our lead chanters and all other participants. Please note that this session is being live streamed on Facebook as well as YouTube. And you can access this session on the Gita Jayanti channels of YouTube as well as Facebook at any time in future. And also Zoom call, all will be muted for all participants except chanters to avoid disturbances. And all the participants can unmute during Q&A session at the end when questions to the speaker can be asked in person. With the humble prostrations at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna and all the Guru Parambas as well as all the devotees of the Lord. So let us get started. So today we will we start with the invocation and initial few mantras, and after that we'll have the welcome address by the guest of honor for today, and after that we do the dhyanam and then the actual Bhagavad Gita, and after that will be the talk. So over to invocation by Sunilji. Sunilji, you can get started. Let me just 1 minute. Let me just mute all the participants. No participants too. Yes. Okay, now we can get started.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidyushavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnu Shashivarnam Chadurbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyaye Sarva Vignopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varate Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sata. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmalam Spadikakritim Atharam Sarva Vidyanam Hayagrivam Upasmahe. Sarvamangalamangale Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanantam Krishnam Vante Jagadgurum.
Thank you very much, Sunil. Now we will have the welcome address by our guest of honor for today, Sagarji. So let me tell a few words to introduce Sagarji to our audience here. Mr. Sagar Tharan serves as the chairman of Amriteshwari Society, Singapore, a role he cherishes deeply, and it enables him to manage Amma's programs, satsangs, and humanitarian activities in Singapore. So basically, Amma, by Amma we mean Amriteshwari Mata Amritanandamayi Devi, and Amriteshwari Society is basically the Singapore chapter of the Amma's activities worldwide. He considers it as a privilege to contribute to the spreading of Amma's message of love, compassion, and selfless service through society's various initiatives. He holds a double honors degree in electronics engineering and physics, which provides a foundation for his career in technology. Previously, he served as a general manager of technology division at IBM Singapore and overseeing the operations across the Asia Pacific region. Currently, is running a electronics wholesale distribution company with focus on ethical and sustainable business practices. As a second-generation Singaporean, he deeply values family and education. He's married with 2 children, both of whom are doctors. His approach to life is grounded in the belief that personal growth and community service should go hand in hand. So that is a beautiful match between spirituality as well as society. He feels deeply grateful to the opportunity to contribute to the community through his work at Amriteshwari Society, inspired by Amma's great teachings. And he views his role as a means to promote spiritual growth, social harmony, and support Amma's humanitarian mission. Through his service, he hopes to inspire others to find joy and purpose in community involvement and spiritual growth, always recognizing that any success is due to Amma's divine grace and guidance. So let's also seek the blessings of Mritanandamayi Devi also. And with this, we will invite Sagarji to deliver his welcome address. Over to Sagarji.
Thanks, Kumarji. Can you hear me?
We can hear you very well. Yeah.
Let me just a quick prayer. Om Parthaya Pradibodhidam Bhagavadam Narayena Swayam Vyasena Grahidam Purana Muninam Mathe Mahabharadam Atvedam Radavarshinim Bhagavadim Ashtat Dashatyayini Amba Tvam Anusandadami Bhagavad Gita Bhavatveshini. My humble prostrations to Swami Satyalokananda Ji, And my humble pranams to Srinivasji, who just joined. Thank you for inviting me. Kumarji, and to all the esteemed members on this call. I feel deeply honored and humbled to be invited to say a few words during this finale. And it's truly a blessing to have the opportunity to share the teachings of my beloved Guru Amma, my mother, Sri Mata Amritanandamayi, and her profound insights on Bhagavad Gita and on Lord Sri Krishna, and some of the virtues Amma highlights on Bhagavad Gita. And I think it was very apt on this final occasion. Before I begin, I would like to offer a small disclaimer. Any merit in my words belongs entirely to Amma. If I happen to say something amiss, I humbly request your kind understanding and forgiveness. Let me approach from the concept of spirituality. Amma says that when we say spirituality, it basically encompasses everything, including what we often perceive as materialistic world. Spirituality is not confined to rituals or specific practices. It's a way of living. However, to truly understand this and to gain the subtle insight, we need a teacher, we need a guru. And this centrality is what distinguishes religion from spirituality. Just like we need teachers for everything, even something as basic as tying our shoelace, we need a guru to help us understand, internalize, and assimilate spiritual teachings. The guru is the one who leads us from darkness to light, from ignorance to wisdom, and from separation to oneness. Bhagavan Sri Krishna was one such guru. He was a Mahaguru of the highest order. He was an avatar. Fortunately for us, the essence of his teachings has been distilled into the Bhagavad Gita, the song of the divine. If the Bhagavad Gita is a manual on living, then we should remember that we ought to be like a melody, one that pleases and soothes the hearts of others. That is why the sacred wisdom is called Gita, meaning music. We all know how Lord Krishna enchanted everyone who came to him with the music of his flute. But why did the flute become worthy of being an instrument in the hands of the Lord? It was because the flute was hollow, completely empty of own ego, desires, and resistance. Amma has said, a conch produces the sound Om when we remove the flesh from it. Likewise, once we surrender our ego to the Guru, our lives will become a sweet melody that gives joy, energy, and enthusiasm to not just us, to others also. Amma reminds us daily this profound truth. If we wish to become instruments in the hands of the divine, we too must learn to let go of our ego, pride, and selfishness. Only when we empty ourselves of these limitations can grace flow through us, using us as a channel to spread love, peace, and harmony in the world. Amma emphasizes that surrender is the key to success in spirituality. Yet, she acknowledges that it is not something that comes easily. Arjuna resisted the call to fight Kurukshetra war initially. It took Lord Krishna 18 chapters to convince Arjuna to take up arms and do his duty as a warrior. Similarly, this spiritual journey that we are undertaking, there's a lot of steps that brings us ever closer to the peak of the ultimate surrender to our Guru. And once we surrender totally, victory is ours. We have reached the finale, and I think Kumar just talked about chapter 18. It is apt, the last verse, where Sanjaya proclaims, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno, Yatra Partho Danuttaraha, Tatra Shri Vijayo Budhir, Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Wherever Shri Krishna, the Lord of all yoga, is present, and wherever Arjuna, the supreme archer, stands, there will undoubtedly be victory, prosperity, and righteousness. Of this, I'm certain. This verse highlights that when we surrender, the act, it's an act of strength and faith, aligning one's will with divinity. By releasing ego and attachments and performing duties sincerely, we are surrendering to Lord Krishna, and he will lead us to both material and spiritual fulfillment. Amma says an avatar like Lord Krishna comes to uphold dharma, make it relevant to the present time, guide society spiritually, nurture values, and perform divine pastimes that inspire devotion. Lord Krishna fulfilled all these roles perfectly. He was always joyful and sweet, excelled in every action, and remained completely detached. This detachment, along with his ability to perform every role so beautifully, made him truly unique. Like an actor playing many roles on stage, Lord Krishna turned his life into a divine play. He took on and let go each role with ease, never getting attached, yet performing each one with grace and purpose. Amma says, Krishna's life was filled with contradictions. Though spiritually liberated from birth, he was born in a prison. Like a mischievous boy, he played many pranks, yet he was able to carry out wondrous feats that were impossible, even for adults. Later on, he became king and lord of the universe, yet the loving devotion of the humble ever captivated him. Though a magnificent householder, he lived with the immaculate purity of a celibate. He became Arjuna's charioteer, shared divine wisdom, and revealed his universal form to the warrior. In the very next moment, he acted as an ordinary charioteer, caring for the horses with focus and devotion. No matter what role he took, Lord Krishna immersed himself fully in it, yet remained completely detached. That was his way. Amma reminds us that Lord Krishna's timeless teaching holds the essence for both spiritual growth and material progress, offering guidance for individuals and society alike. Amma says that the lotus flower serves as a beautiful metaphor for this state. Though it grows in muddy waters, it remains pure and unstained, its beauty untouched by its surroundings. It teaches us that by staying rooted in faith and centered in divine, external challenges cannot tarnish our inner peace. The lotus also reminds us of the importance of detachment. Lord Krishna embodied this principle perfectly. He fully immersed himself in every action, yet remained completely unattached. His signature style and a powerful lesson for all of us. May we all draw inspiration from the lotus and the life of Lord Krishna, remaining pure, joyful, and detached, no matter what challenge life brings. Let us fully surrender ourselves at the feet of our Divine Master, becoming true instruments of the divine will, spreading love, peace, harmony throughout the world. Om Amriteshwari Namah.
Thank you so much, Sagarji, for those beautiful words, and really very beautifully, really beautiful indeed. Basically, Sagarji talked about Amma's message of spirituality and her sense of conveying the greatness of Bhagavad Gita through her own eyes and her own vision. So she said that she actually covers the material society. Spirituality is not just doing spiritual matters; it even covers the material society also. And he also talked about the importance of Guru and in one's life, and also Krishna is the Mahaguru, and the very beautiful life that he led. He says that Amma was saying that our life should be like a song or like a music. That's why Bhagavad Gita is called Gita. Gita is meaning a song, and we should all become like a conch or a flute, which is empty of content, empty of the ego and all of the baggages, so that music can come out. Because without the sound of, without the emptiness of the flute and the emptiness of conch, it cannot produce music or the Om sound that it can produce. And she focused on the surrender as a key, but a very difficult key, which even Arjuna had a tough call. It took Arjuna about 18 chapters to convince, it took Krishna about 18 chapters to convince Arjuna to go ahead and fight. And basically, and he quoted the the 78 verse, the culminating verse of chapter 18, the Trayogeshwara Krishna, and saying that victory, prosperity, greatness, etc., everything can only come when Krishna, the guru and wisdom, and Arjuna, the warrior with skills, will come together. So that is a final, culminating message of Bhagavad Gita, and focused on Krishna as a great model for doing all actions in the spirit of play, at the same time full and detached life, but doing everything, even lowly jobs like taking care of horses and everything, like with perfection. And so that is a way to live. And so thank you so much for giving all those wonderful messages of Bhagavad Gita, and especially through the to the actual lived life of Amma. So thank you so much again, Sagarji. So it was really wonderful to have you. So now we will proceed with the rest of the activities. So next will be the Gita Dhyanam, the meditation, invocation of the Bhagavad Gita itself. So this will be by Suniti again.
अथ गीताध्यानम् ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सत्सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थाम विकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्ण खलु पाण्डवैरणनति कैवर्तक केशवः पाराशर्यवज सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधना बोधितं लोके सज्जन षट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयात् भारत पंकजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसि न श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपात्तमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुदः तुन्नुन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः।
Thank you so much, Sunil. So now we get into the actual Parayana part of the Bhagavad Gita itself. So we have this today is the finale session with chapter 18, the final chapter of Bhagavad Gita, with all the verses verse 1 to 78. And following slides in the Gita Parayan segment gives the simple meanings of the verses taken from different great commentators, in some cases with explanatory notes also. And commentators, the reference is given within brackets. And the names names of the commentators and the names of the work from which the meanings are taken is given at the final slide of the Gita Parayan segment before the Mahatmya. Swamiji's lecture will be after the Gita Parayanam as well as the Gita Mahatmya. So it will take another maybe some time to complete this Parayan, and then after that we'll have Swamiji's lecture. Okay, so now over to our lead chanters to chant, and initially it will be started with Sunilji as well as Umaji.
Adhashtadashod. Can I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Adhashtadashodhyayah Moksha-sannyasa-yogah Arjuna uvacha Sannyasasya mahabaho Tattvam-ichchami vetitum Tyagasya joshikesha Prithak-keshi-nishutana.
Arjuna uvacha sannyasasya mahabaho tattvam-ichchami veditum tyagasya cha hrishikesha prithak-keshi-nishudana.
Shri Bhagavan uvacha Kamyanam karmanam nyasam Sannyasam kavayo vituhu Sarva karma phalatyagam Prahutyagam vichakshanaha.
Shri Bhagavan uvacha kamyanam karmananyasam sannyasam kavayo viduhu sarva karma phalatyagam prahustyagam vichakshanaha.
Yajyam doshamadityeke Karma prahurmanishinaha Yajnadana tapah karma Natyajyamiti chapare.
Tyajyan doshavadityeke karma prahurmanishinaha yajnadana tapah karma natyajamiti chapare.
Nishchayam shrunu me tatra Tyage bharada sattama Tyago hi purusha vyaghra Trividha samprakirtitaha.
Nishchayam shrunu me tatra tyage bharata sattama tyago hi purusha vyaghra trividha samprakirtitaha.
Yajnadana tapah karma Natyajyam karma eva tat Yajno danam tapaschaiva Pavanani manishinam.
Yajnadana tapah karma natyajyam karyameva tad yajno danam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam.
Etanyapitu karmani Sangam tektva bhalani cha Kartavyani me partha Nishchitam matamuttamam.
Etan yapitu karmani sangam tyaktva phalani cha kartavyani me partha nishchitam matamuttamam.
Niyatasya tu sannyasa Karmano nopapadyate Mohat tasya parityagaha Tamasah parikirtitaha.
Niyatasya tu sannyasah karmano nopapadyate mohattasya parityagah tamasah parikirtitah.
Dukkhamityeva yat karma Kaya klesha bhayat tyajet Sakritva rachasam tyagam Naiva tyaga bhalam labhet.
Dukkhamityeva yat karma kaya klesha bhayat tyajet sakritva rajasam tyagam naiva tyaga phalam labhet.
Karyamityeva yat karma Niyatam kriyate arjuna Sankam tektva bhalam chaiva Satyaga satviko mataha.
Karyamityeva yat karma niyatam kriyate arjuna sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva satyaga satviko mataha.
Nadveshta kushalam karma कुशलेनानुषज्यते त्यागी सत्त्वसमाविष्टः मेधावी छिन्न संशयः
न द्वेष्ट्य कुशलं कर्म कुशलेनानुषज्यते त्यागी सत्त्वसमाविष्टः मेधावी छिन्न संशयः
न हि देहभृदा शक्यम् त्यक्तुं कर्मण्यशेषतः यस्तु कर्मफलत्यागी सत्यागीत्यभिधीयते
न हि देहभृता शक्यं त्यक्तुं कर्माण्यशेषतः यस्तु कर्मफलत्यागी सत्यागीत्यभिधीयते
अनिष्टमिष्टं मिश्रं च त्रिविधं कर्मण फलं भवत्यत्यागिनां प्रेत्य न तु सन्न्यासिनां क्वचित्
अनिष्टमिष्टं मिश्रं च त्रिविधं कर्मणः फलं भवत्यत्यागिनां प्रेत्य न तु सन्न्यासिनां क्वचित्
पञ्चैतानि महाबाहो कारणानि निबोध मे सांख्ये कृतान्ते प्रोक्तानि सिद्धये सर्वकर्मणाम्
पञ्चैतानि महाबाहो कारणानि निबोध मे सांख्ये कृतान्ते प्रोक्तानि सिद्धये सर्वकर्मणाम् अधिष्ठानं तथा कर्ता करणं च पृथक्विधं विविधाश्च पृथक् चेष्टाः दैवं चैवात्र पञ्चमम् अधिष्ठानं तथा कर्ता करणं च पृथग्विधं विविधाश्च पृथक् चेष्टाः दैवं चैवात्र पञ्चमम् शरीरवाङ्मनोभिर्यत् कर्म प्रारभते नरः न्यायं वा विपरीतं वा पञ्चैते तस्य हेतवः शरीरवाङ्मनोभिर्यत् कर्म प्रारभते नरः न्यायं वा विपरीतं वा पञ्चैते तस्य हेतवः तत्रैवं सति कर्तारम् आत्मानं केवलं तु यः पश्यत्यकृतबुद्धित्वात् न स पश्यति दुर्मतिः तत्रैवं सति कर्तारम् आत्मानं केवलं तु यः पश्यत्यकृतबुद्धित्वात् न स पश्यति दुर्मतिः यस्य नाहङ्कृतो भावः बुद्धिर्यस्य न लिप्यते हत्वापि स इमान् लोकान् न हन्ति न निबध्यते यस्य नाहङ्कृतो भावः बुद्धिर्यस्य न लिप्यते हत्वापि स इमान् लोकान् न हन्ति न निबध्यते ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं परिज्ञाता त्रिविधा कर्म चोदना करणं कर्म कर्तेति त्रिविधः कर्म संग्रहः ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं परिज्ञाता त्रिविधा कर्म चोदना करणं कर्म कर्तेति त्रिविधः कर्म संग्रहः ज्ञानं कर्म च कर्ता च त्रिधैव गुणभेदतः प्रोच्यते गुणसङ्ख्यानि यथा वच्छृणुतान्यपि ज्ञानं कर्म च कर्ता च त्रिधैव गुणभेदतः प्रोच्यते गुणसङ्ख्यानि यथा वच्छृणुतान्यपि सर्वभूतेषु येनैकं भावमव्ययमीक्षते अविभक्तं विभक्तेषु तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि सात्विकम् सर्वभूतेषु येनैकं भावमव्ययमीक्षते अविभक्तं विभक्तेषु तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि सात्विकम् पृथक्त्वेन तु यज्ञानं नानाभावान् पृथग्विधान् वेत्ति सर्वेषु भूतेषु तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि राजसम् पृथक्त्वेन तु यज्ञानं नानाभावान् पृथग्विधान् वेत्ति सर्वेषु भूतेषु तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि राजसम् यत्तु कृत्स्नवते कस्मिन् कार्ये सक्तमहैतुकम् अतत्त्वार्थवदल्पञ्च तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्
यत्तु कृत्स्नवदे कस्मिन् कार्ये सक्तमहैतुकम् अतत्त्वार्थवदल्पञ्च तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्
नियतौ सङ्गरहितम् अरागद्वेषतः कृतम् अफलप्रेप्सुना कर्म यत्तत् सात्विकमुच्यते
नियतौ सङ्गरहितम् अरागद्वेषतः कृतम् अफलप्रेप्सुना कर्म यत्तत् सात्विकमुच्यते
यत्तु कामेप्सुना कर्म साहङ्कारेण वा पुनः क्रियते बहुलायासं तद्राजसमुदाहृतम्
यत्तु कामेप्सुना कर्म साहङ्कारेण वा पुनः क्रियते बहुलायासं तद्राजसमुदाहृतम्
अनुबन्धं क्षयं हिंसाम् अनपेक्ष्य च पौरुषम् मोहादारभ्यते कर्म यत्तत्तामसमुच्यते
अनुबन्धं क्षयं हिंसाम् अनवेक्ष्य च पौरुषं मोहादारभ्यते कर्म यत्तत्तामसमुच्यते
मुक्तसङ्गो न संवादी धृत्युत्साहसमन्वितः सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्योर्निर्विकारः कर्ता सात्विक उच्यते
मुक्तसङ्गो न संवादी धृत्युत्साहसमन्वितः सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्योर्निर्विकारः कर्ता सात्विक उच्यते रागी कर्मफलप्रेप्सुः लुब्धो हिंसात्मको शुचिः हर्षशोकान्वितः कर्ता राजसः परिकीर्तितः
रागी कर्म फल प्रेप्सुः लुब्धो हिंसात्मको शुचिः हर्षशोकान्वितः कर्ता राजसः परिकीर्तितः
अयुक्तः प्राकृतस्तब्धः शठो नैष्कृतिकोलसः विषादी दीर्घसूत्री च कर्ता तामस उच्यते
अयुक्तः प्राकृतस्तब्धः शठो नैष्कृतिकोलसः विषादी दीर्घसूत्री च कर्ता तामस उच्यते
बुद्धेर्भेदं धृतेश्चैव गुणतस्त्रिविधं शृणु प्रोच्यमानमशेषेण पृथक्त्वेन धनञ्जय
बुद्धेर्भेदं धृतेश्चैव गुणतस्त्रिविधं शृणु प्रोच्यमानमशेषेण पृथक्त्वेन धनञ्जय
प्रवृत्तिं च निवृत्तिं च कार्याकार्ये भयाभये बन्धं मोक्षं च या वेत्ति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी
प्रवृत्तिं च निवृत्तिं च कार्याकार्ये भयाभये बन्धं मोक्षं च या वेत्ति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी
यया धर्ममधर्मं च कार्यं चाकार्यमेव च अयथावत् प्रजानाति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ राजसी
यया धर्ममधर्मं च कार्यं च कार्यमेव च अयथावत् प्रजानाति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ राजसी
अधर्मं धर्ममिति या मन्यते तमसावृता सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च बुद्धिः सा पार्थ तामसी
अधर्मं धर्ममिति या मन्यते तमसावृता सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च बुद्धिः सा पार्थ तामसी
धृत्या यया धारयते मनः प्राणेन्द्रियक्रियाः योगेन व्यभिचारिण्या धृतिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी
धृत्या यया धारयते मनः प्राणेन्द्रियक्रियाः योगेनाव्यभिचारिण्या धृतिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी
यया तु धर्मकामार्थान् धृत्या धारयतेऽर्जुन प्रसंगेन फलाकांक्षी धृतिः सा पार्थ राजसी
यया तु धर्मकामार्थान् धृत्या धारयतेऽर्जुन प्रसङ्गेन फलाकाङ्क्षी धृतिः सा पार्थ राजसी
यया स्वप्नं भयं शोकं विषादं मदमेव च न विमुञ्चति दुर्मेधा धृतिः सा पार्थ तामसी
यया स्वप्नं भयं शोकं विषादं मदमेव च न विमुञ्चति दुर्मेधा धृतिः सा पार्थ तामसी
सुखं त्विदानीं त्रिविधं शृणु मे भरतर्षभ अभ्यासाद्रमते यत्र दुःखान्तं च निगच्छति
सुखं त्विदानीं त्रिविधं शृणु मे भरतर्षभ अभ्यासाद्रमते यत्र दुःखान्तं च निगच्छति
यत्तदग्रे विषमिव परिणामे मृतोपमं तत्सुखं सात्विकं प्रोक्तम् आत्मबुद्धिप्रसादजम्
यत्तदग्रे विषमिव परिणामे मृतोपमं तत्सुखं सात्विकं प्रोक्तम् आत्मबुद्धिप्रसादजम्
विषयेन्द्रियसंयोगात् यत्तदग्रे मृतोपमं परिणामे विषमिव तत्सुखं राजसंस्मृतम्
विषयेन्द्रियसंयोगात् यत्तदग्रे मृतोपमं परिणामे विषमिव तत्सुखं राजसंस्मृतम्
यदग्रे चानुबन्धे च सुखं मोहनमात्मनः निद्रालस्य प्रमादोत्थं तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्
यदग्रे चानुबन्धे च सुखं मोहनमात्मनः निद्रालस्य प्रमादोत्थं तत्तामसमुदाहृतम् न तदस्ति पृथिव्यां वा दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः सत्वं प्रकृतिजैर्मुक्तं यदेभिः स्यात् त्रिभिर्गुणैः
न तदस्ति पृथिव्यां वा दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः सत्वं प्रकृतिजैर्मुक्तं यदेभिः स्यात् त्रिभिर्गुणैः
ब्राह्मणक्षत्रियविषां शूद्राणां च परन्तप कर्माणि प्रविभक्तानि स्वभावप्रभवैर्गुणैः
ब्राह्मणक्षत्रियविषां शूद्राणां च परन्तप कर्माणि प्रविभक्तानि स्वभावप्रभवैर्गुणैः
शमोदमस्तपः शौचं क्षान्तिरार्जवमेव च ज्ञानं विज्ञानमास्तिक्यं ब्रह्मकर्म स्वभावजम्
शमोदमस्तपः शौचं क्षान्तिरार्जवमेव च ज्ञानं विज्ञानमास्तिक्यं ब्रह्मकर्म स्वभावजम्
शौर्यं तेजो धृतिर्दाक्ष्यं युद्धे चाप्यपलायनं दानमीश्वरभावश्च क्षात्रं कर्म स्वभावजम्
शौर्यं तेजो धृतिर्दाक्ष्यं युद्धे चाप्यपलायनं दानमीश्वरभावश्च क्षात्रं कर्म स्वभावजम्
कृषिगौरक्ष्य वाणिज्यं वैश्यकर्म स्वभावजं परिचर्यात्मकं कर्म शूद्रस्यापि स्वभावजम्
कृषिगौरक्ष्यवाणिज्यं वैश्यकर्म स्वभावजं परिचर्यात्मकं कर्म शूद्रस्यापि स्वभावजम्
स्वे स्वे कर्मण्यभिरतः संसिद्धिं लभते नरः स्वकर्मनिरतः सिद्धिं यथा विन्दति तच्छृणु
स्वे स्वे कर्मण्यभिरतः संसिद्धिं लभते नरः स्वकर्मनिरतः सिद्धिं यथा विन्दति तच्छृणु
यतः प्रवृत्तिर्भूतानां येन सर्वमिदं ततं स्वकर्मणा तमभ्यर्च्य सिद्धिं विन्दति मानवः
यतः प्रवृत्तिर्भूतानां येन सर्वमिदं ततं स्वकर्मणा तमभ्यर्च्य सिद्धिं विन्दति मानवः
श्रेयान् स्वधर्मो विगुणः परधर्मात् स्वनुष्ठितात् स्वभावनियतं कर्म कुर्वन्नाप्नोति किल्बिषम्
श्रेयान् स्वधर्मो विगुणः परधर्मात् स्वनुष्ठितात् स्वभावनियतं कर्म कुर्वन्नाप्नोति किल्बिषम्
सहजं कर्म कौन्तेय सदोषमपि न त्यजेत् सर्वारम्भा हि दोषेण धूमेनाग्निरिवावृताः
सहजं कर्म कौन्तेय सदोषमपि न त्यजेत् सर्वारम्भा हि दोषेण धूमेनाग्निरिवावृताः
असक्तबुद्धिः सर्वत्र जितात्मा विगतस्पृहः नैष्कर्म्यसिद्धिं परमां सन्न्यासेनाधिगच्छति
असक्तबुद्धिः सर्वत्र जितात्मा विगतस्पृहः नैष्कर्म्यसिद्धिं परमां सन्न्यासेनाधिगच्छति
सिद्धिं प्राप्तो यथा ब्रह्म तथाप्नोति निबोध मे समासेनैव कौन्तेय निष्ठा ज्ञानस्य या परा
सिद्धिं प्राप्तो यथा ब्रह्म तथाप्नोति निबोध मे समासेनैव कौन्तेय निष्ठा ज्ञानस्य या परा
बुद्ध्या विशुद्धया युक्तः धृत्यात्मानं नियम्य च शब्दादीन् विषयांस्त्यक्त्वा रागद्वेषौ व्युदस्य च
बुद्ध्या विशुद्धया युक्तः धृत्यात्मानं नियम्य च शब्दादीन् विषयांस् त्यक्त्वा रागद्वेषौ व्युदस्य च
विविक्तसेवी लघ्वाशी यतवाक्कायमानसः ध्यानयोगपरो नित्यं वैराग्यं समुपाश्रितः
विविक्तसेवी लघ्वाशी यतवाक्कायमानसः ध्यानयोगपरो नित्यं वैराग्यं समुपाश्रितः अहङ्कारं बलं दर्पं कामं क्रोधं परिग्रहं विमुच्य निर्ममः शान्तः ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते
अहङ्कारं बलं दर्पं कामं क्रोधं परिग्रहं विमुच्य निर्ममः शान्तः ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते
ब्रह्मभूतः प्रसन्नात्मा न शोचति न काङ्क्षति समः सर्वेषु भूतेषु मद्भक्तिं लभते पराम्
ब्रह्मभूतः प्रसन्नात्मा न शोचति न काङ्क्षति समः सर्वेषु भूतेषु मद्भक्तिं लभते पराम्
भक्त्या मामभिजानाति यावान् यश्चास्मि तत्त्वतः ततो मां तत्त्वतो ज्ञात्वा विशते तदनन्तरम्
भक्त्या मामभिजानाति यावान्यश्चास्मि तत्त्वतः ततो मां तत्त्वतो ज्ञात्वा विशते तदनन्तरम्
सर्वकर्माण्यपि सदा कुर्वाणो मद्व्यपाश्रयः मत्प्रसादादवाप्नोति शाश्वतं पदमव्ययम्
सर्वकर्माण्यपि सदा कुर्वाणो मद्व्यपाश्रयः मत्प्रसादादवाप्नोति शाश्वतं पदमव्ययम्।
चेतसा सर्वकर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्परः बुद्धियोगमुपाश्रित्य मच्चित्तः सततं भव।
चेतसा सर्वकर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्परः बुद्धियोगमुपाश्रित्य मच्चित्तः सततं भव।
मच्चित्तः सर्वदुर्गाणि मत्प्रसादात् तरिष्यसि अथ चेत्त्वमहङ्कारात् न श्रोष्यसि विनङ्क्ष्यसि।
मच्चित्तः सर्वदुर्गाणि मत्प्रसादात् तरिष्यसि अथ चेत्त्वमहङ्कारात् न श्रोष्यसि विनङ्क्ष्यसि।
यदहङ्कारमाश्रित्य न योत्स्य इति मन्यसे मिथ्यैष व्यवसायस्ते प्रकृतिस्त्वान्नियोक्ष्यति।
यदहङ्कारमाश्रित्य न योत्स्य इति मन्यसे मिथ्यैष व्यवसायस्ते प्रकृतिस्त्वां नियोक्ष्यति।
स्वभावजेन कौन्तेय निबद्धस्वेन कर्मणा कर्तुं नेच्छसि यन्मोहात् करिष्यस्य वशोऽपि तत्।
स्वभावजेन कौन्तेय निबद्धस्वेन कर्मणा कर्तुं नेच्छसि यन्मोहात् करिष्यस्य वशोऽपि तत्।
ईश्वरः सर्वभूतानां हृद्देशेऽर्जुन तिष्ठति भ्रामयन् सर्वभूतानि यन्त्रारूढानि मायया।
ईश्वरः सर्वभूतानां हृद्देशेऽर्जुन तिष्ठति भ्रामयन् सर्वभूतानि यन्त्रारूढानि मायया।
तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादात् परां शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्।
तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादात् परां शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्।
इति ते ज्ञानमाख्यातं गुह्याद्गुह्यतरं मया विमृश्यैतदशेषेण यथेच्छसि तथा कुरु।
इति ते ज्ञानमाख्यातं गुह्याद्गुह्यतरं मया विमृशैतदशेषेण यथेच्छसि तथा कुरु।
सर्वगुह्यतमं भूयः शृणु मे परमं वचः इष्टोऽसि मे दृढमिति ततो वक्ष्यामि ते हितम्।
सर्वगुह्यतमं भूयः शृणु मे परमं वचः इष्टोऽसि मे दृढमिति ततो वक्ष्यामि ते हितम्।
मन्मना भव मद्भक्तः मद्याजी मां नमस्कुरु मामे वैष्यसि सत्यन्ते प्रतिजाने प्रियोऽसि मे।
मन्मना भव मद्भक्तः मद्याजी मां नमस्कुरु मामे वैष्यसि सत्यन्ते प्रतिजाने प्रियोऽसि मे। सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यः मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः।
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यः मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः।
इदन्ते नातपस्काय नाभक्ताय कदाचन न चाशुश्रूषवे वाच्यं न च मायोऽभ्यसूयति।
इतं ते न तपस्काय न भक्ताय कदाचन न चाशुश्रूषवे वाच्यं न च मां योऽभ्यसूयति।
य इमं परमं गुह्यं मद्भक्तेष्वभिधास्यति भक्तिं मयि परां कृत्वा मामे वैष्यत्य संशयः।
य इमं परमं गुह्यं मद्भक्तेष्वभिधास्यति भक्तिं मयि परां कृत्वा मामे वैष्यत्य संशयः।
न च तस्मान्मनुष्येषु कश्चिन्मे प्रियकृत्तमः भविता न च मे तस्मात् अन्यः प्रियतरो भुवि।
न च तस्मात् मनुष्येषु कश्चित् मे प्रियकृत्तमः भविता न च मे तस्मात् अन्यः प्रियतरो भुवि।
अध्येष्यते च य इमं धर्म्यं संवादमावयोः ज्ञानयज्ञेन तेनाहम् इष्टस्यामिति मे मतिः।
अध्यक्ष्येते च य इमं धर्म्यं संवादमावयोः ज्ञानयज्ञेन तेनाहम् इष्टस्यामिति मे मतिः।
श्रद्धावाननसूयश्च शृणुयादपि यो नरः सोऽपि मुक्तः लोकान् प्राप्नुयात् पुण्यकर्मणाम्।
श्रद्धावाननसूयश्च शृणुयादपि यो नरः सोऽपि मुक्तः शुभान् लोकान् प्राप्नुयात् पुण्यकर्मणाम्।
कच्चिदेतच्छ्रुतं पार्थ त्वयैकाग्रेण चेतसा कच्चिदज्ञानसम्मोहः प्रणष्टस्ते धनञ्जय।
कच्चिदेतच्छ्रुतं पार्थ त्वयैकाग्रेण चेतसा कच्चिदज्ञानसम्मोहः प्रणष्टस्ते धनञ्जय।
अर्जुन उवाच नष्टो मोहस्मृतिर्लब्धा त्वत्प्रसादान्मयाच्युत स्थितोऽस्मि गतसन्देहः करिष्ये वचनं तव।
अर्जुन उवाच नष्टो मोहस्मृतिर्लब्धा त्वत्प्रसादात् मयाच्युत स्थितोऽस्मि गतसन्देहः करिष्ये वचनं तव।
सञ्जय उवाच इत्यहं वासुदेवस्य पार्थस्य च महात्मनः संवादमिमम् अश्रौषम् अद्भुतं रोमहर्षणम्।
सञ्जय उवाच इत्यहं वासुदेवस्य पार्थस्य च महात्मनः संवादमिममश्रौषम् अद्भुतं रोमहर्षणम्।
व्यासप्रसादात् श्रुतवान् एतद्गुह्यमहं परम् योगं योगेश्वरात् कृष्णात् साक्षात् कथयत स्वयम्।
व्यासप्रसादात् श्रुतवान् एतद्गुह्यमहं परम् योगं योगेश्वरात् कृष्णात् साक्षात् कथयत स्वयम्।
राजन् संस्मृत्य संवादमिममद्भुतं केशवार्जुनयोः पुण्यं हृष्यामि च मुहुर्मुहुः।
राजन् संस्मृत्य संवादमिममद्भुतम् केशवार्जुनयोः पुण्यम् हृष्यामि च मुहुर्मुहुः
तच्च संस्मृत्य संस्मृत्य रूपमत्यद्भुतं हरेः विस्मयो मे महान् राजन् हृष्यामि च पुनः पुनः
तच्च संस्मृत्य संस्मृत्य रूपमत्यद्भुतं हरेः विस्मयो मे महान् राजन् हृष्यामि च पुनः पुनः
यत्र योगेश्वरः कृष्णः यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिः ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम
यत्र योगेश्वर कृष्णः यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिः ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम
ॐ तत्सत् इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे मोक्षसंन्यासयोगो नाम अष्टादशोऽध्यायः।
वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं मन्त्रहीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तिहीनं जनार्दन सर्वं यदक्षरपरिभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं च यत् भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देव जनार्दन नमोऽस्तु ते।
Thank you so much for all the wonderful chanting. It was absolutely perfect chanting. And we will all the meanings given in the earlier slides are actually from the great commentators of the Bhagavad Gita, and abbreviations as below. They include Swami Chinmayanandaji, Swami Dayanandaji, Swami Gambhiranandaji, George Feuerstein, Swami Vireshwaranandaji. Actually, we will talk about Vireshwaranandaji again. Eknath Ishwaran, Dr. Radhakrishnan, Swami Rama, Johan Maskarao, Dr. A.T. Krishnavarya, Swami Muktananda, Swami Shivananda, and Sri Natarajaguru. So basically, they cover a wide variety of viewpoints as well as traditions, as well as even geographical locales from which they come from, as well as time frames. They're from earlier times as well as current times. Lots of viewpoints are actually represented in the meanings we have given in the earlier slides. So now, anyway, this can be referred to in the YouTube as well as Facebook channels of Gita Jayanti. So now we go over to the Gita Mahatmyams to be chanted by Sri Lakshmi Ji.
ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः। अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता माहात्म्यम्। गीताशास्त्रमिदं पुण्यं यः पठेत् प्रयतः पुमान् विष्णोः पदमवाप्नोति भयशोकादिवर्जितः। गीताध्ययनशीलस्य प्राणायामपरस्य च नैव सन्ति हि पापानि पूर्वजन्मकृतानि च। मलनिर्मोचनं पुंसां जलस्नानं दिने दिने सकृद्गीताम्भसि स्नानं संसारमलनाशनं। गीतासु गीता कर्तव्या किमन्यैः शास्त्रविस्तरैः या स्वयं पद्मनाभस्य मुखपद्माद्विनिःसृता। भारतामृतसर्वस्वं विष्णोर्वक्त्राद्विनिःसृतं। गीता गङ्गोदकं पीत्वा पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते। सर्वोपनिषदो गावः दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः। पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। एकं शास्त्रं देवकी पुत्रगीतम् एको देवो देवकी पुत्र एव एको मन्त्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा ॐ तत्सत्
Thank you so much. Now let me just spotlight all the chanters, lead chanters today. So Sunilji, please enable your video. Let me spotlight so that everybody can see Sunilji. This is Sunilji. So thank you so much for the beautiful chanting, Sunilji. Next one we have Rajita ji here. So this is Rajita ji. Hari Om, Rajita ji.
Hari Om.
Now we have this is Sri Hari ji. This Sri Hari ji. Hari Om. And we have this Sri Lakshmi ji.
Hari Om.
Sri Lakshmi ji. Thank you so much. A couple of them have actually had to leave early for some other appointments. So two of them could not be spotlighted. So now we move over to the next part of our activity for today. It is going to be the talk by Swami Satyalokananda ji. So he's basically the vice president of Sri Ramakrishna Mission, Singapore, and he was basically born in Japan in 1949, and Swamiji has graduated from Kobe University with a major in economics in 1973. And he joined the Ramakrishna order at Belur Math and received the Diksha, the Sannyasa Diksha from Swami Vireshwarananda ji. Actually, we have talked about Swami Vireshwarananda's commentary of the Bhagavad Gita. Is also being referred to in several places in the text we just showed. The 10th president of the Ramakrishna order in 1976. He was posted to Hyderabad Center in 1977, between 1977 and 1980, and again 1982 and 1996. And he became a personal attendant of Swami Ranganathananda, who later became the 13th president of Ramakrishna order. As most of us will know, Swami Ranganathanji is one of the great names of Indian spirituality, and he had actually connections to the prime ministers of several prime ministers, including Indira Gandhi and also L.K. Advani, and as well as our P.V. Narasimha Rao and so many others. And he was a very illustrious speaker as well as a wonderful Swamiji. And I personally had the opportunity to listen to him several times at Trivandrum at Ramakrishna Mission. And then he moved to Singapore a few years before Swamiji left his temporal body. The 69-year-old monk has spoken at various interfaith forums, notably at the International Conference of Religion and Peace, organized by Islamic Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, Singapore. And he's currently the vice president of Ramakrishna Mission, as we said earlier, and also the manager of Sharda Kindergarten, rated as one of the best in Singapore. I understand that Swamiji is also was also used to be referred to as Partha Maharaj, and hope it's not disrespectful of me to use his the Partha Maharaj's name. So warm welcome to Swamiji, and now we will give this stage to Swamiji, please. So over to Swamiji, and Swamiji, you have to unmute. You have to unmute. You have to unmute. Yeah.
Hari Om. Namaste to all of you. And I am very grateful to be invited to speak on especially chapter 18 of the Bhagavad Gita. As I have heard several others, especially Sri Sagar, as more or less he summarized this chapter. But yet, I would like to go through and then touch what I think the important slokas. Now, this chapter is the Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, yoga of liberation through renunciation. And then this is the concluding chapter of the spiritual discourse between Sri Krishna and Arjuna. And then this chapter addresses what is renunciation, sannyasa, then nature of duty, karma, principles of action and detachment. And finally, provides a conclusive framework for the path to liberation, the ultimate blueprint for fulfilling life. Think of it as a how-to guide for achieving inner peace and liberation. And then this 18th chapter, we can consider first renunciation and sannyasa, verse 1 and 2. Then threefold division of action and knowledge, verses, first was 1 to 12. Then second is verse 13 to 18. Then threefold gunas as the determinative factors. This is verses from 19 to 39. Then gunas and character types, 40 to 44. Next is the work as worship, verses 45 to 49. Then spiritual fulfillment through total abandonment, which is 50 to 56. Then final teachings of Sri Krishna, verses 56 to 66. Then to whom the Gita is relevant, this 67, 68. And then conclusions. So Arjuna asked several times this question of sannyasa and tyaga. Here, Sri Krishna clearly instructs what is sannyasa, what is tyaga. This clarification is done. And the sannyasa is the renunciation of all actions driven by desire, kamya, karma, we call them. Particularly selfish actions. Tyaga involves the renouncing of attachment to the fruits of actions. Sarva karma phalatyaga, they say, while continuing to perform one's duties. So this is the renunciation, sannyasa. Then Krishna emphasizes that one should not give up one's duty itself, as duty performed selflessly leads to purification of the mind. And then Krishna identifies three types of renunciation, tyaga. Tamasic renunciation, abandoning duties due to ignorance or laziness, which renouncing prescribed action, which are our own good and good for all, that those who renounce, that is a tamasic renunciation. Then second, rajasic renunciation, which renounces duties out of fear, discomfort, or difficulty. He or she will never attain the result of renunciation. And then this we see every day in many people. So this we have to be very careful. I used to tell, observing such people, you may run away, but you will again come across the same situation. And then it will come back with double fold. So this is rajasic. Then sattvic renunciation. This is performing one's duties without attachment. The renouncer endured with sattva. The renouncer who is sattva is wise and then whose doubts are dispelled and does not hate to a disagreeable or work nor is attached to an agreeable work. Whatever comes, he is ready to do. That attitude which comes through the devotion to God. Then next comes the attitude of the Meda here mentions in this sattvic one. Here Meda, this is a very, very important word. So please mark this Meda. Shankara tells, Medaya Atmanyana Lakshanaya, the Meda or intelligence, which is of the nature of Atmanyana, or knowledge of the self. And then Prajnaya Samyuktaha, endowed with the kind of wisdom. So this Meda is very, very important word. And then this knowledge touched with Atman, this will give us wisdom. And then based on this Meda, Indian culture developed. Wherever there is a refinement, this Meda is background. So this Meda, which is a psychic energy, so through this energy makes from the crude energy to refined energy. So this here, especially Meda, please remember. Then Krishna concludes that renunciation of the fruits of action, not action itself, is the highest form of renunciation. Now comes the how the bondage of action is overcome. This is verses from 13 to 17. Sri Krishna explains that actions are influenced by 5 factors. So here very scientifically he observes, and then especially 5th one, we should not forget. Adhishthanan tatha karta karanancha pritak vidam vividasya pritak cheshta daivan chaivatra panchaman. The body, Ashthanan, the doer, individual self, Karta, the instrument, senses, Karanan, the efforts involved, Cheshta. Then comes the divine will, or other people may translate destiny. And then Daivan, Shankara translates this as supernatural element, solar deity guiding the function of eyes, etc. As you know, the Vedanta, we consider that our organs are directed by the various gods. But here, the destiny also is considered as Daivan. Destiny is what? It is our past action. It comes from ourselves, not from others. In Hitopadesha, the famous this verse is there. Purva jamma kritam karma tad daivan iti kathyate tasmat prushakarena yatram kriyat atindra adandritaha, says. The action that was done in the past life, in previous births, they are operating as destiny in the present life. Therefore, through human effort, should be done carefully. Kriyat atandritaha, it says. So, this teaching emphasizes that all actions are combination of the human effort and also divine grace. This serves to remind Arjuna that he is not the sole doer and should avoid the egoistic identification with actions. All these are the factors belonging to Prakriti. Behind it is the pure light of consciousness. This 5, this Prakriti belongs to Prakriti. But behind it is the pure light of consciousness, the Atman, who is the unaffected witness. So in ignorance, this pure witness identifies himself with these factors external to him, and then their performances, and creates bondage for himself. Then how to overcome this bondage? So 17 tells, Yasya naham krito bhavo buddhir yasena lipyate hatva pisa iman lokan na hanti na nibadyate, says. One who is free from the notion of ego, whose intelligence is not affected by good or evil, though he or she kills these people, he or she killed not, nor is bound by the actions. So the false identification, that is, with our body-mind complex, if this doership is overcome, agentship is overcome, there is none to own an act and its consequence beyond the unconscious elements of Prakriti. This is the experience of the knowing one. All his so-called actions, whether good or bad, are immoral, beyond moral. That's why he is not bound, as there is no I to own them. So the act of killing is mentioned here. Why? Because this is in the battlefield. Arjuna has to face. That's why this is mentioned. It only means that actions in general become immoral in the case of knowing one who identifies himself with the Atman, unconscious or consciousness, pure consciousness. Then, three gunas as determinative factors. This is told in the verses from 18 to 39. Krishna also discusses the importance of jnana, knowledge, karta, the doer, and the karma, actions. So he categorized each of these according to three gunas. So now knowledge, jnana. Here, sattvic knowledge, I don't elaborate as time is short. Then rajasic knowledge, then tamasic knowledge. This is limited and attached to trivial aspects of reality. It says, misconceived knowledge. One cannot see what is behind the effect. So, the opinion of my religion only true or superior attitude is this tamasic knowledge. What is sattvic knowledge? One truth shining through all these religious truth. That is, truth is one. So that is a sattvic knowledge. Similarly, actions and agent, doers, are also categorized based on their alignment with three gunas. So karma, sattvic action, rajasic action, tamasic action. So here, so we have to take into account both our actual and potential abilities. Then we can do the work. Now, the doer, karta, are similarly classified sattvic doer, rajasic doer, and tamasic doer. Then, Krishna explains the qualities of the intellect, buddhi, then dhriti, fortitude, and sukha. So these also under the three gunas he categorizes. Buddhi, sattvic one, discriminates between the right and wrong, truth and untruth. Rajasic, confused and focused on material goals. Tamasic, perverted, seeing wrong as right, and vice versa. Then dhriti. Dhriti is a very, very important word. Sattvic, steadfast in self-discipline, controlling the mind and the sense through concentration. Then rajasic, passionately attached to results and material desire. Then tamasic, unsteady, prone to fear and depression. So here, as I said, dhriti is very, very important. Dhriti, there's a strong will that which makes things move. Mere knowledge does not make things move. When prompted by the will, knowledge grows into action. Knowledge flows into action, which brings the, if this dhriti, pure dhriti, welfare of all the people in the world. This is the noble dhriti, pure will. And Swami Vivekananda tells, everything must go down before the will. For that comes from God and God himself. A pure and strong will is omnipotent. So this driti here, the important. If wrongly, tamasic driti, it will be opposite. Hitler, you can see what the havoc he created. He had the driti, but it is a tamasic. Or rajas, controlled by tamas, that is driti. Then comes the sukha, happiness. This also classified. Sattvic happiness. This is from the inner peace, self-discipline, and the realization we can get this. And then, very interesting, it says, in the beginning it is like poison, but later it is nectar. Then, rajasic happiness. This is from the ordinary sense pleasures, excitement, and indulgence. But eventually it will become poison. You are not at all satisfied. Dissatisfaction follows this rajasic happiness. You remember the Katha Upanishad, when Yama tempts Nachiketa with various sense pleasures. And then Nachiketa beautifully replies, these sense pleasures, Jayanti tejaha. This exhausts the vigor of all the sense organs. To lead a spiritual life, we require vigor. Not for those who waste away the vigor of sense organs. And then tamasic happiness. This is a laziness, delusion, harmful habits. These lead to sufferings. Now, gunas and the character types are described in verse 40 to 44. Everything in the world is influenced by the three gunas and the different types of people in society. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra are no different. They are also shaped by these qualities. But people often misunderstand the idea of these social groups. Today, and for the long time, people have thought of Varna as four hereditary castes. This means they believe you are born into a caste and that you cannot change it. But the best Indian thinkers see Varnas differently. They believe these groups are based on your character, which is determined by the qualities you develop in your past lives. The Gita agrees with this view. Especially in the Dhammapada, Buddha also says, who is Brahman? Very clearly he states that. We cannot simply say that these character types are the same as social groups that only marry within themselves. So, in chapter 4, verse 13, Krishna explained that these four groups are based on people's character, not their birth. So also, Shloka 41 of this chapter is Brahmana Kshatriya Vishan Shudra Nam Cha Paranta Karmani Pravibhaktani Swabhava Prabhavair Gunaihi. O scourge of enemies, the duties of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and also Shudras have been divided according to the qualities born of their own natures. Swabhava Prabhavair Gunaihi. So everyone in the world shares the same basic qualities, and society thrives when people are put in roles that match their strength and talents. That is the best society. Krishna describes the four different types of people in society based on their natural abilities and what they tend to do. These are, as already said, Brahmana. They are teachers, scholars, and religious leaders who seek knowledge and truth. Kshatriya, warriors and rulers who protect and govern the people. Vaishya, business people, farmers, and traders for support of the economy. of the society, and Shudras, workers and the class people who provide essential services to everyone. So here, 45 to 49, here tells work as worship. Especially Sloka 45, 46 beautifully describe that. Through dedicated works, we can attain spirituality. Your own occupation becomes the meeting ground of the human and the divine. So, what is important? Cultivation, the special attitude towards work. Work, if it is well cultivated, it becomes the worship. Swami Vivekananda advocated the practical Vedanta, in which difference between secular and sacred disappear. Work is worship. Whatever we do become worship. Introducing the complete works of Swami Vivekananda, Sister Nivedita touched this point beautifully here. So I shall read out. If the many and the one be indeed the same reality, this is a Vedantic truth, then it is not all modes of worship alone, but equally all modes of work, all modes of struggle, all modes of creation, which are part of realization. No distinction here fought between sacred and secular. To labor is to pray, to conquer is to renounce. Life is itself religion. To have and to hold is as stand or trust as to quit and to avoid. So here the beauty, this Sister Nivedita tells about this. Then comes Shreyan Swadharmo Vignaha Paradharmat Swanushtitat Swabhava Niyatan Karma Pruvannapnoti Kilvishan. 47 here. Here says, better is one's own duty, though imperfect, than the duty of another well performed. He who does the duty ordained by his own nature incurs no sin. In chapter 3rd, sloka 35, Krishna already discussed about the Swadharma. And then most of you must have dwelt or studied on this topic. Now, to understand sloka 47, especially to explain Swadharma in modern day context, I'm sure all of you are very much interested. And then many of us have questions. As you know, Gita is not now only Indians. It is spread all over the world. And then those who love Gita, when they come across this verse, they question, what is my Swadharma? Now, here, already I said, 4 characters are universal, and then all over the world, these 4 characters there, where the classes lose all rigidity and then tend towards classlessness. Characters are there, but the classes, rigidity has gone. Especially in this modern day, present day, this is a very competitive society. It is impossible to decide what is your Swadharma or what is your Paradharma. Duty of one or duty of others is just based on your birth. Swadharma should be understood as work that fits your personality and helps you grow. Well, this idea makes sense, but we know it is harder to figure out in real life. Even if you knew your Swadharma, you might not have the chance to choose your work, because competition is very, very tough. Modern life has changed how we think about the Swadharma. With widespread education, technical jobs, and equal rights, it's no longer reasonable to decide someone's duty based on their family. But the psychological truth contained in the conception of Swadharma, that is, character, nature, stands for all time. So, Swadharma for the vast majority of men is a life of action. Gita encourages Arjuna to follow karma yoga, path of action, because it's his dharma or way of life, born of his own nature. Here, his own nature, Sankhya, or worklessness, workless contemplation will be the paradharma for you. It is not fit for his nature, so it is harmful for him. So even if someone seems to be living a life of quiet contemplation, they might actually be becoming tamasic, inactive and sluggish, lethargic in the long run. So everyone has to work. The key is to do your work with devotion, your attitude. The Gita teaches this way, that by offering the results of your actions to God and seeing yourself as his servant, you can rise above the good and bad consequence of your work. As before it was mentioned, you don't identify yourself with your body mind, but this always God-centered actions. It's better to do your own work sincerely, even if you make mistakes, than to do someone else's work perfectly. He says, this is about being true to yourself and finding your own path. This is the way. So this is the Swadharma. And then next is 50 to 56. It is Siddhi, about Siddhi. Three types of Siddhi, it is mentioned. Now, first is the 46th sloka, adoring the Supreme Being with his Swadharma. Here, it can only mean Siddhi is an advanced state of spiritual competency, not final perfection here. Though perfection, Siddhi is used, first 46 sloka is the not final perfection, but it is an advanced state of spiritual competency. Second, Siddhi is 50, the sloka. Sloka number 50. Here, attaining Siddhi, which is described already in the 49 as Naishkarmya Siddhi, realization that one is not the body, but Atman above all being. This is the second one. And then Sloka 53. Here comes the Brahma Bhuyan, Brahman becoming. This, he says, a person who has reached the state of Brahma Bhuyan has yet not attained the spiritual summit, though this also the Siddhi. Last spiritual perfection is consisting of attainment of the transcendent devotion, Param Bhakti, he says. So, till the end of the verse 55, the idea of an absolute completive who, abandoning all works, has retired into solitude and engaged in meditation, worklessness, leading to illumination is described. Here, suddenly, here comes the one who is tended to the worklessness. Then from verse 56, completely different, entirely different type of the aspirant who is fully engaged in work is described. Now, here, who does? Sarva karman nyapisada, one who performs every kind of action, every kind of work, he says. Here, the beginning of a new topic comes. The spiritual progress of those who continue to work by way of service of the Lord as both the way to salvation and the end to be achieved through it. So this kind of discipline was described in already chapter 2 from 39 onward, and also chapter 3 from verse 3, and in chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga. Sri Krishna promises such devotees who do all kinds of work attain eternal state by his grace. The grace is the most important factor in the life of devotees, life of spiritual sadhakas. And then in 62, Sri Krishna tells them, seek refuge in him alone with all your beings, with all love. By his grace, you will attain the eternal state, the highest peace. Now, this kind of grace was emphasized in Bhakti Yoga. Tesha mahan samudhartha mritya sansara sagarat bhavami nachirat partha maya veshta chetasan. I become the uplifter from the ocean of ocean, and he will become the this ocean of death rescuing. This is so. Also, 9:22 says that ananya chintayanto man ye jana pariyupasate teshan nityabhiyuktanam yogaksheman vahamyaham. He, those men who worship me alone, thinking of no other, to those ever steadfastly worship me with self-control, I secure for them that which is not already possessed, yoga, by them, and then preserve for them what they already possess. Ksheman says. So here describes about the devotees who practice devotional discipline. They depend for salvation not on their own effort, but on divine grace. God through total surrender, which Sri Krishna declared in the Charama Sloka, 1866. So Gita accepts the doctrine of workless sannyasa, leading to enlightenment for the few, and also accepts equally the part of bhakti combined with dedicated work, enlightenment being an accompaniment of it by the grace of God. So in the Gita, bhakti and jnana are one and the same at the highest reach, each perfecting the other. Says 1855 reads, Bhaktya man avijanati yavan yascha asmi tatvataha tato man tatvato nyatva vishate tadanantaran. So by devotion one knows me in reality, what and who I am. Then having known me in reality, one forthwith enters into me, he says. And then final teaching will come. This is verses from 56 to 66. Especially here, this 63. It says, Iti te jnana makyatam gushyad gushyataram maya vimrishai tadas asheshena tat asheshena yate chasi tata kurute. Thus has wisdom more profound than all the profoundest. Has been declared that wisdom more profound than all profoundness is being declared to you by me, Maya, reflecting over it fully. Act as you like. This is the Krishna's word. Here we notice Sri Krishna giving the freedom to reflect the teaching and do as you think. The real teacher will not force. That's why here, Super Master Sri Krishna, it is telling this words. So, and then because he knows the Arjuna is the worthy disciple, so he could tell this. Then comes the most profound teachings of the Gita, the essence of the Gita. We call Charama Sloka, final message of Sri Krishna. Sarva dharmam parityajya, mamenkam sharanam braja, ahantva sarva papebhyo, moksha ishyami ma shutaham. It says here. Now, there are many interpretations, as you must have studied, about dharma. How to explain dharma? Shankara explains action. And the action, both good and bad, says dharma and adharma. But if by karma is meant all Vedic ritualism and ego-centered work for selfish gains, the equation of dharma with karma is all right. But it cannot be of works done as a pure act of devotion and service. Because immediately before this sloka, we find Mammana Bhava Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Man Namaskuru Mabe Vaishyashi Satyanti Pratijane Priyosi Me. Let your mind be engrossed, absorbed in me, be resigned in me, be devoted to me, offer worship to me, etc. So, works of the nature of bhakti discipline should always be performed. Even in the performance of these devotional activities, there is a form of renunciation to be practiced. Some devotees think that I have done so much practice, but nothing happened. This we hear from the devotees. But this is not a business. It is not a trade. We pay this much, so we must get that much worthy things. No, it is coming from your ego. So, you can't get, you are not entitled to get the grace of God as you have done such and such. This must be very, very clear. So, our duty is only to pray for the grace and wait for it patiently, believing that God dwells in the heart of all, which was mentioned by Krishna in 61. The surrender of the fruits and the sense of agency in regard to all one's spiritual practices, besides the abandonment of all non-spiritual activities, is included in the idea of this sarvadharmam parityajya, giving up of all dharmas. So, and then here, just I want to dwell a bit. The Madhusudana Saraswati says the surrender takes three forms determined by spiritual maturity. First, that is, there is the attitude of I belong to him indeed. The second is the attitude of he belongs to me indeed. And the third, I am he indeed. Surrender takes three forms according to spiritual maturities. So, explaining this, he quotes as an example of the first attitude. This is mild, he says. When the sense of difference of size, O Lord, I am yours, and not you mine. For the wave belongs to the sea, never the sea to the wave. This is Vishnu Sattvari. Third. The second is medium. Oh Krishna, how strange it is that you are going away by forcibly flinging aside my arms. I shall consider it manly if you can go away from my heart. This is from the Krishna Karunamrita. And then third is intense, as in, do not approach those in whom has arisen the firm conviction that all that exists is Vasudeva, the one supreme Lord, and the master of all, dwelling within the heart. Here, I has disappeared and he only appears. There is only he, no I. Is there in the Vishnu Purana? Then Masudana very intelligently or very cleverly tells this way: who are we, insignificant people, to explain the intention of the Venerable One? Which person who is inefficient can explain that utterance of the Supreme Person called the Gita, the secret meaning of the voice of the Vedas? So this is the very, very what you call thought-provoking idea. And then Dharma. You may understand according to your likes. But these are this beautifully explained place, the words of the those who really experienced acharyas or the teachers of Vedanta. Then comes the to whom the Gita is relevant, which is verse 67 to 68, says, Idante na tapaskaya, na bhaktaya kadachana, na cha shushrashabe vacham, na cha manyo abhyasuyati, says. So here we find Sri Krishna instructing not to preach to those who do not practice austere living, who have no devotion and no spirit of service. His teaching should be confined to devotees of God. We must be fit to receive his teachings. Why? Who does not understand the spirit of the Gita would misinterpret and abuse the teachings. So, for example, chapter 2, it can be misinterpreted, and then it will be used as a weapon to attack Hinduism also. Second chapter, 19 says, Yaenam vetti hantaram yasyainam manyate hatam vautona vijanit nayam hantina hanyate. He who thinks the self can be slayer and who thinks it can be slain, both have no right knowledge. He, the self, neither kills nor it is killed. So this those who do not believe or who do not have the deep understanding, they will misuse it and then justify the killing, murdering. So then they will shift their responsibility to God. So this noble teaching, it will become the hazardous. Now people with anti-social tendencies can misunderstand and misapply these teachings. Therefore, the Lord advises to impart only to those who are genuine spiritual seekers with sound moral foundation. But at the same time, he tells us, then who does the best service and where he will go? Says, Yaidam paramang guhyam mad bhakteshu avidasyati bhaktim mai param kritva mame vaisyatya samshaya. Says, he who teaches this supremely profound doctrine among men devoted to me, having thereby offered to me the highest form of loving service, shall undoubtedly come to me alone. So here, though not like other missionaries, he prohibited to spreading Gita teaching to everyone, everywhere. But he stresses, no, you should preach, you should spread, but to those who are worthy to be included, worthy to be taught, who are devoted to him, says. And now conclusion comes in the 70. He says, Adeshate chayaiman dharmyam samvada samvadam avayoho jnana yagnena tena ham ishtaha syam iti me matihit. That the study of the Gita and its teachings, which is conducive to virtue, as jnana yagna, sacrifice of knowledge, he is worshipping me in that manner. So, stress is jnana yagna. There are so many dravya yagna, etc. there, but we should stick to this jnana yagna, which we should not neglect. And 73, Arjuna says, Nashto moha smritir rabda tat prasadat maya achyuta stitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanan tavat. So his delusion, delusion of what? Body mind complex, he thought, no, I have gained my memory. What is a memory? My memory is I am immortal Atman, not body mind. And then through your grace, this was gained by through grace, oh Achyuta, I am firm, my doubts are gone. I shall act as your instructions. So this Arjuna's speech should be ours. We have to do. This is a message here. And then finally, Sanjaya's 78th sloka. Yatra yogesha rakrishno yatra partho dhanurdharaha tatra shri vijayaha bhutihi dhruvanitir matir mama. Here, this is already explained by Sagarji, so I don't go. But here, it is very, very important. Sri Krishna stands for what? Great calm personality, who is full of wisdom within, full of compassion for humanity. And he is the greatest teacher. And Arjuna stands for the heroic man of action, the fine human being with so many qualities. If such people are there, the society will be Shri, Vijaya, Bhuti, Dhruva, Niti will come, says. That is become the real ideal society. In the introduction of Gita, Shankaracharya beautifully tells, Dvido hi vedo ukto dharmaha pravritti rakshanascha nivritti rakshanascha pravritti rakshana nivritti rakshanascha jagata sthiti karanam, says. He, indeed, the Vedic Dharma, and this make the world steady, jagata sthiti karanam, is twofold. That is, pravritti lakshana, that is embracing work. Second is nivritti dharma, embracing denunciation. These both are required for the stability of the world, he says. Then, praninam sakshat abhidaya nishreyasa hetu yassa dharmat. This dharma is what directly promotes the prosperity and then emancipation of the living beings. So here, pravritti lakshana, by that abhyudaya, prosperity will come. Nishreyasa, by that emancipation will come, says. But Shankaracharya tells, especially if you have studied chapter 4, shloka 2, there tells, same way Shankara interprets, due to the lapse of long periods of time, the practitioner of Dharma came to be dominated by cravings. Then adharma overcame Dharma and then adharma became dominant, says. Dirga karena anustatma manan kamod bhavat hiyamana viveka vignyana ahetukena, says. And then here, why they say Dharma disappears? Shankara says beautifully tells, Durbaran ajitendriya prapya nashtam yoga. This yoga disappeared because yoga was handed to the Durbaran, to the weaklings. Then ajitendriya, one who does not have self-control, sense control, they are in the first introduction, he says, Kamod Bhava, those who indulged in the sense pleasures, they destroyed this Dharma. But this Dharma is now, I am teaching to Arjuna. Why? He is a fit recipient, and then through him, this Dharma will flourish. And then here, what kind of people this Arjuna is? Here, he says, he has the more than ordinary virtues. Guna adhikaihi grihitaha anushtiya manascha dharma prachayam gavishyati. It says. So, Krishna is the man of virtues. That virtue is more than ordinary people. He has excellent virtues. If this Dharma is handed to them, it is bound to spread like one lamp being lit from another to another lamp. This is saying this. So, this is this more or less 18th chapter. And then this Srinivasanji requested me to summarize the entire Gita. It is impossible. But this Gita, as most of you must have experienced, it is a life-saving message, life-giving message. When I read the Gita for the first time in 1972, I was a student at the time. And then it wonderstruck me when I read the second chapter. Especially at that time, Japan, after the World War II, the economy is progressing. And then many of the Japanese, they are not religious-minded or ritualistic-minded, they say. Though we belong to Buddhism or other religions, but hardly we are conscious about the teachings. And then I was seeking the meaning of life, reading many philosophies and scriptures. And then Gita came in my hand. And then the second chapter, it says, you are not body, you are not mind, you are infinite Atman, eternal. So this was the shock. It is literally shock. Why? This means what? There is no death for me. I will never die. It is an illusion. Then whole the outlook of life changed. So through this, I have learned the great lesson. Then so many things you can take this from the Gita. Swami Vivekananda stressed, considering at that time, his essence of the Gita tells, Kraibhyam masma gamaparta naitatva ivapadyate kshudrang hridaya dorbadyam takto uddishta parantapa. Do not yield to unmanliness, O son of Prita. It does not become you. Shake off this base faint-heartedness and arise, O scorcher of enemies. So here he says one gets all the merits of reading the entire Gita. For in this one sloka lies embedded the whole message of the Gita. This is this Swami Vivekananda's opinion, because at that time India, he wanted to shake up India. So his clarion call was, arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. Now you are submerged in tamas. Rise up from tamas to rajas, then rajas to sattva. That he wanted to say. Then you can get the beautiful idea of sthita prajna. And then especially Raja Rishi idea. Everyone can be the Raja Rishi. Raja means what? Raja stands for the power. Then Rishi stands for the wisdom. Everyone has the power. I am looking after the kindergarten. I meet the children from 3 years to 6 years. Even they have power. They can sit on the head of parents. Why? They are treated like that. So everybody has the power. Now, how we utilize this power? Here comes the Rishi idea. If you have the wisdom, using that wisdom, your whole attitude towards work, towards the society, towards every changes, you will work for welfare of all. You will be dedicated to the God. This is Swami Vivekananda called practical Vedanta. And then a beautiful idea of total dedication in the chapter 9. And in 11, you can find Mammana Baba Madbhakto Madhyajiman Namaskuru Mame Vaishyasi Yuktaivan Atmanam Mat Parayanaha and Mat Karma Krim Mat Param Mad Bhakta Sangha Varjitava Nirvaira Sarva Bhuteshu Yassa Mameti Pandava. And then finally, I'll add, Sri Ramakrishna said, you repeat Gita, Gita, Gita many times. It will become Thagi, Thagi, Thagi. In Bengali, the Thagi is the Tyagi. So the essence is what? Renounce, renounce, renounce. What you have to renounce? Your kachami says, unripe ego, ego-centered. This is mine. This is yours. This small I and my, renounce. This is the message. So, as Sanjaya told, we have to practice, and then we have to get the blessing of the Sri Krishna. And all we have to be free. Because as I was introduced that I am from Japan. And then it took me for many years to come to this teaching. Those who are born in India or born in Indian family or Hindu family are blessed. Mind you, this teaching is near at you. You can just look behind, front, everywhere. The beautiful teaching of Hinduism are there. But we had to struggle to get this message. And then when you get this message, do not neglect. And then we have to aim for the supreme, this sambodhanam of human life, namely moksha. This is the real message. With this, I end my talk. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Unmute, please.
Yeah. Hari Om. Thank you so much, Swamiji, for this wonderful enunciation on chapter 18, as well as a brief overview of the entire Gita itself. And it would be quite difficult job for me to summarize what Swamiji has said. But basically, I'll try to do a little bit, at least 2-3 minutes. Basically, he covered about what is sannyasa as well as karma. This chapter talks about sannyasa as well as karma and the framework to the path to inner peace and liberation. So that's the idea of this chapter. And he talked about the various types of tyaga as well as metha. And tyaga of 3 types. It's distinguishing between the rajasic and the tamasic and the sattvic varieties of tyaga and various other aspects. Jnana, karma, karta, etc. All are all described in these 3 fashions. And very interestingly, we talked about the 5 factors that are that lead to the actions. That lead to the effective actions. There is the 5th factor of that of daiva. Between that, the supernatural element according to Shankara, as well as the purvajanmakritam karma, as definition of daiva. So basically, the contrast between the 2, the divine grace as well as our own past actions, which is definition of daiva. So that's very interesting, I thought. And the importance of metha that was given according to Shankara, the refined intelligence required. And also one of the dhriti, that is the fortitude. Also another very important aspect is basically something, it is will that makes knowledge transform to action. Some message Swamiji has said, a very beautiful message. That it is without this dhriti, the knowledge cannot become action. So that is another important point. And also quoted Swami Vivekananda on everything must go down with the will of God. And also splitting between the various character types of varnas, the Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya and the Shudra, and how Dharmavada also says that it's actually based on the qualities of one's own nature and not one's own birth. So this is the idea that Swami was trying to focus on. And then subsequently went on to the work as worship, as through dedicated work, as Swami Vivekananda said. And he quoted a beautiful paragraph from Sister Nivedita, where she said, one and the many are the same, and life itself is religion. A very beautiful quote. I would like to go through that quote again. Do one's duty, and doing others' duty is others' job is bad. So that's a very interesting. And they focused on the idea of the swadharma, which is a very, very perpetual perpetual question that most of us have. What is my Swatharma, especially in today's world? So basically, a work that actually helps you grow in tune with your own nature. So life of action, Karma Yoga based on one's own nature. That is the whole idea of Swatharma. It's a very difficult concept. Then comes the idea of Siddhi and the Naishkarma Siddhi and the Brahma Bhuya, that is becoming reaching Brahmanhood, Parama Bhakti, and these are all ideas that Swamiji talked about. And went onto the 66 verse 66, which is widely commended by Shankara as well as many others. Sarvadharma and Prityagya, total abandonment of all action, and bhakti without attachment results is the final message of Gita. And he says that in verse 63, Krishna said that I've given you all the knowledge, the great knowledge that I have. Now it is your job to think over whatever I've said carefully and completely and comprehensively, and then act according to what you think is correct. So basically, the responsibility to act is left to Arjuna, and to decide also is left to him. So his buddhi and his metha is very important. And he also talked about very interestingly about the complaint that devotees have done so much of my sadhana and no results. Why? This is because Swamiji said that it is because of the ego in action. So that is the idea that Swamiji was saying. And results should be left to God. And then Madhusudana Saraswati's Gudar Deepika, Swamiji talked about the three ideas of Tyaga, three phases of Tyaga. Basically, one that I belong to him, then he belongs to me, and both of us are the same. And as a secret meaning of the voice of the Vedas. So this is what Swamiji was saying. And then it went on to talk about that Gita should not be given to people who are non-austere, people who are Anatamaskaya, and na-bhaktaya, who are non-devotees. So, and if Swamiji was so beautifully said that if giving this message to the wrong people will lead them to attack yourself. So that is the reason why there is so much of attack on the Gita as well as to Hinduism itself, because basically it's gone to people who are not worthy of this message of Gita. So that is the whole problem. And then and he said that finally he said that Arjuna's message of Arjuna's speech, result should be that of our speech. That means we should actually our confusion should be lost by this by reading and understanding this Gita. And yeah, subsequently talked about a little bit about the Shankara Bhashya's the introduction, and where pravritti and nivritti are both required, and dharma should lead to prosperity and emancipation. And I said a beautiful thing that yoga gets destroyed if it is in the hands of the weak as well as those people without discipline. So that is the whole idea, that yoga should be held only by the people who are strong as well as one who has got spiritual discipline. So these both are very important. And Swamiji ended his talk, his wonderful talk, with the message of one of Swami Vivekananda's favorite verse from the Gita, that one should have strength. So that is the idea. And the Siddha Prajna and Rajarshi as the idea for all of us, and practical Vedanta of Swami Vivekananda. And Ramakrishna, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, talking about Gita, if you tell many times, it becomes Tyagi, basically to say that we should have leave the idea of this ego-centeredness, and then that will lead to moksha. That's the whole idea. I hope I have at least tried to tell a few of what Swamiji has said, even though it is a little brave attempt on my side. I hope, please forgive me if I've made any mistakes. So now we have to complete the rest of these some more parts so that we can go to the question and answer session. So let me share the screen again. So thank you, Swamiji, once again. So I will now we have the concluding mantras. This will be chanted by Sunilji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanyantara Murtaye Amritakalasha Hastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokya Nathaya Mahavishnave Swaha. Om Achyutaya Namaha. Om Anantaya Namaha. Om Govindaya Namaha. Om Achyutaya Namaha. Om Anantaya Namaha. Om Govindaya Namaha. Om Achyutaya Namaha. Om Anantaya Namaha. Om Govindaya Namaha. वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु, सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु। लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु, लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु, लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ तत्सत्। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।
Thank you so much, Sunilji. As you can see today, the slide number has begun 108. I just saw it just now only. So the 108th slide today is the ending slide. It's very curious. We have a couple of announcements. So we are going to have this Sampurna Gita Parayan on the Mokshada Ekadashi day. That is on the 11th of December, the coming Wednesday, at the PGP Hall. It will be held at the downstairs, the ground floor, because our registrations have gone up. So there is a registration link here. So please do register at this place. And simple prasad will be available to devotees who are fasting, and also the other normal prasad also is there. So 11th December. So if Srinivasi, you want to say anything more on this?
I think we have covered. I think we request all of you to come. Only thing is, on the day, we'll also be welcoming the new lead organization, Bengali Association of Singapore, to lead our Gita Jayanti Singapore in 2025. So please do come and participate in the chanting, as well as support all activities of Gita Jayanti. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So this, thank you so much to everybody. And this session concludes the online Gita Parayan and Satsanga for 2024. And we offer all our efforts unto the Lord Krishna, the teacher of the Gita. We humbly prostrate at his feet. So thank you, everybody. And now we will have the session open for questions, if any, to Swamiji. Swamiji is available here. Let me just...
Only thing I'd like to check, how long Swamiji can be available, because we indicated as 1 o'clock as the closing time. So I don't know whether we have a commitment. So let Swamiji feel free to tell us what time.
Yeah, Swamiji, if you are free to answer some questions, if there are any, please do. Please unmute yourself, Swamiji.
Maybe a few questions, because already more than 2
quite
hours.
Late.
Yes.
Yeah, it's quite late. Yeah, correct.
So,
anybody has any questions? Yeah, people are free to ask questions. Swamiji is available. Just only 2-3 questions can be taken.
Hari Om, Swamiji. Regarding Sarva Dhamman Parityajya,
yes,
is always interpreted by various schools in their own way to emphasize as the central message of Gita in their philosophy. So how do you correlate these various views, and what is the almost acceptable? We cannot say the only one view, because Gita is always open for so much of interpretation. But for a traditional philosopher, what would be the more acceptable form of it? Thank you so much.
Already I have explained that. When I said this Shankara's interpreting karma, and then karma both good and bad. But before that, Sri Krishna tells about the execution of karma. So what I said, we can't renounce total karma. That is my opinion, and then maybe reasonable. Of course, Packard writing will refute. But what I think is, what you station of life, what you are now, and what is most suitable to understand this teaching, then you take, just not the philosophical exposition. Then Gita will not give you much advice, or you not get benefit. So sometimes if you grow, you can in a different way you can interpret it. Your development of spiritual field will slowly changing, the interpretation also might change. But at the same time, this is Swami Vivekananda always says, it is not that wrong. It is from the, as if lower truth to higher truth. So this must be this, you shouldn't say, as Madhusudana Saraswati beautifully put it, who am I to explain away what the Lord said? So you take whatever you think, it is really maybe this meaning, and then you act accordingly. And especially here, just before, bhakti is so much stressed. And then this dharma, you should continue to the good dharma, which is beneficial, both your spiritual growth and also the welfare of the society. That you have to execute. At the same time, you renounce other karmas, especially those ego-tainted karmas. So in that way, I understand, and that I have been doing in this manner. Is it okay?
Thank you so much. That was very beautiful explanation. Simple but profound. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Somebody, I have a question on the verse 61. The Gita says, "Brahmayan sarvabhutani indraruthani maya." So that means Ishvara sarvabhutanam hrideshe Arjuna tishtati. So he says that he is sitting in your heart and controlling you like a machine. So is it that we have no free will? Is that the meaning? So is that he's got doing everything and not we?
You see, they also you can interpret many ways. But I'll tell you, if this is God is everything, yes, in a way, or destiny is everything, yes. There is no freedom. Yes, we do have. So, especially we call destiny. Sri Ramakrishna beautifully describes. Suppose a cow is tied to a tree with a rope. He can't go this beyond the rope's distance, but he's free to go around inside wherever ropes takes you. So you have that much freedom. That is this thing. And then, yes, whatever happening, we believe God is doing. God's sanction is there. Whatever happens, that is a karma. And the karma, that also there are a big way of this explanation there, that you bring the God. Then, yes, God is doing everything. As even the Jesus also said, even the leaf will not fall or quiver without the permission of God. That means whatever happening in this life, sanction of God is there, and we can't say why. Many people questions. The just people is punished. They were killed. Why? We do not know behind. What their karmas or what is the scheme of God. So, yes, God is sitting here, watching us and instructing us. And then when we do our best without attachment to ego, whatever there, God will look after. God will do the best for us. That is this, I understand in that way.
Basically, we have limited freedom. So that is what you are saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So are there any other questions? Otherwise, it's already 1:30. It is time for us to wrap up for today. I think it looks as if there are no other questions. So thank you so much, Swamiji. Suniti was saying anything? Suniti?
Yeah, one question, conclusion question. Would like to,
Yeah. Please. Yeah.
As Swamiji uttered, if I'm not wrong, Dharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishnaya Detamaha. The intention or the exhaustive vision of Swami Vivekananda ji came out as, spontaneously poured out as this verse. Could you extend that Rama and Krishna and Avatara Varishthada of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa ji?
No, I'm sorry. This shloka you asked me to explain.
Yeah, just that relevant to this Krishna Rama, his embodiment of both. What was the essence, kind of, the crest of that to this thing, according to Swamiji's this thing?
I'm sorry, I'm not getting the question correctly.
Yeah. Avatara Varishta Ramakrishna.
Oh, Ramakrishna, Avatara Varishtaya. Yes. Now, this becomes very personal, I believe, because for the Rama Bhakta, Rama is the Avatara Varishta. Yeah. Krishna Bhakta, then Shakti worshipper, or your case is Mata Amritanda Mai. So they become. Here, Swami Vivekananda, this when he composed this, he just scanned all, because he himself lived with Ramakrishna. And in the beginning, as you know, he never accepted his avatarship. Rather, he criticized. But after seeing his various leela, and then going out of India and mixing with all the people, especially all the religions of the world, and then considering the Rama Avatar, Krishna Avatar, and what Ramakrishna did. So he considered he is the Avatar of Varishta. If we can go deep, then I can tell. But this much. Yes, but you see, we consider, all gods a manifestation of the Brahman. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, namaste.
Thank you so much, Swamiji, for that, concluding with the question with the Ramakrishna, Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of the greatest of the Paramahamsas. So thank you so much to Sunilji also and Swamiji's wonderful answer. So with this, I think we conclude for today. And our most humble obeisance to Swamiji for the most wonderful talk. So Swamiji, thank you so much. And also to Sagarji, our guest of honor for today from Mrideshwari Society, and all the wonderful chanters who have done excellent chanting today as well as in all the previous episodes of the series. This is today's ninth session. We have had 8 previous sessions. All of them done wonderful chantings. All the recordings are available on YouTube as well as Facebook. So anytime you can always go back and refer to them for understanding how to chant properly. So thank you so much to all the wonderful lead chanters, and also to our management, Gita and the management team by Srinivas Ji, who has done tremendous amount of work. And we'll be having our major activity coming up next week. And also to welcome all the people, all the members here to come and participate in that Gita chanting also, Sampurna Gita Parayan. That is the day actually in which Lord Krishna's message of Gita got revealed to the world. So that is believed to be the day, the Shukla Bhaksha Ekadashi of Margashira month. So very important day. So thank you once again and also to all the wonderful the spectators, people who have participated. And I've been sending emails to over 1,000 people every one of these times. And we have had like between 50, 30, 40, 50, 60 people have participated. So thank you, everybody, to all the devotees of the God also. Thank you so much. If anybody has anything to say, you can say.
I just want to make an interesting observation. It is nothing but Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's pure kripa that our first session was, the speaker was none other than Swami Samachityananda ji, and our concluding session, the speaker is none other than Swami Satyalokananda ji from Ramakrishna Mission. We've been truly blessed to have Swamijis like you to grace these occasions and share your great wisdom, Swamiji. Hari Om, Swamiji, Hari Om. And we also like to thank Krishna Kumar ji for excellently coordinating this with the chanters and also organizing the Zoom sessions without fail all these 9 months. Thanks, Krishna Kumar ji. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everybody. So see you all and at the chanting on 11th. Hari Om, and have a wonderful and blessed, happy Merry Christmas and also Happy New Year and wonderful times ahead. Thank you so much. Hari Om.
Sorry, Hari Om.